Going on, guys? We're back, going live here, doing a back-to-back episode. You guys know tomorrow we got the Young Guns, the prospect draw coming up. So make sure that you're here for that. It's going to be a shorter stream, but tonight I'm super excited. I got a guest here, and he's a collector, collects a lot of cool stuff. Without further ado, his name is on Instagram, Penguins and Pirates. His name is Kyle. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Kyle in here. Kyle, how you doing?
Good. Yourself? You're doing well?
Good. Yeah. So we were just chatting a little bit backstage, but we talked a little bit, but why don't you first off tell people, obviously your name's Kyle, but tell a little bit about who you are, what you do, maybe where you're from, and how you got into collecting, maybe to start.
All right. Yeah, sure. So I'm originally from Toronto, and now I'm out on the West Coast, over on the island. So a little bit good living there. As far as what I do, I work for the Navy, and I'm owner operator there. So I'm really enjoying it, and like what I do. And then on the side, obviously, I'm collecting cards at least for the past 6 or 7 years, and it kind of started back with my father, and talking about childhood, and you have like Christmas, you open up some packs with them, and you make some memories, and like everybody else, that kind of fades. You come back after university. You're thinking, what do I do with all this stuff that I have at the house? And you flip through it, and then you start searching up online, like, oh, can I sell this? And you see some of the prices, and you're like, oh, my stuff isn't really that good. And then you get a little bit curious. You look into some of these other cards, and you're seeing what absurd prices some of this stuff is selling for. And even back in 2014, 2013, 2014, and that kind of hooked me in. I was curious, so I started doing some more research, and buying a couple boxes here and there, and then at that point, hook, line, sinker, I was sold.
So how long were you off, like in between? So I mean, I grew up like in the 90s, and I really only collected for a few years, and now I'm just over 40 years old. So I went like 25 years without getting into cards. How long was your gap sort of from being a kid into when you got back into it? And what sort of got you back into it, if you can recall?
So I started collecting kind of late 90s, early 2000s there. And the big kind of year that I was collecting, and that I was really excited about, was the Ilya Kovalchuk year. So we're talking like in that span of 2001 to 2003. And then I was also I still am a big Crosby guy. So I got back in as well for 2005, 2006. At that point, high school, university kind of took over. And then at that point, you go to sell it after university, because you're thinking, oh, gonna get a job, and I need a little bit of money to get myself on my feet. And you stumble into kind of like buying a box, because you see, oh wow, there's some big money cards going on. And actually, where I kind of came like full force, it wasn't necessarily in 2014, but I really got into like breaking boxes, and getting really in deep in 2017. And surprise, surprise, it wasn't hockey; it was actually baseball with Aaron Judge. So
okay,
yeah,
so
a little bit weird.
So you are into all the sports, right? Like, are you a predominantly hockey guy? Like, how do you sort of break down what you collect?
Mainly hockey, and I dabble into some basketball that I like. As far as baseball, I like watching it, but I've kind of gotten out of the space. It's just, you got to keep up with it, especially with the rookies always kind of like coming and going, and just so many variables over a long season. So I try and stay away now, even though I do enjoy getting the occasional baseball card, but that's pretty much over. So
Yeah, awesome. And who are your I mean, Penguins Pirates.
mhm.
So I mean, I might seem silly
Yeah.
asking who are your favorite teams?
So yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins, and then
Okay.
I like the Pittsburgh Pirates as well. But I am a Jays fan as well. So being from Toronto, it's kind of hard not being a Jays fan, right? And especially with what's going on right now, it's been pretty exciting this year. So
Yeah, I can't even really converse on that. I know that the Jays are on fire. I know there's something going on, but that's all I know. I don't I don't
yeah,
know I don't know any more about the Jays, but apparently maybe you can inform people what's going on or inform me what's going on. Are there I know they're closing on I guess they're closing fighting for wild card spots or are they past that?
yeah. So it's basically a five-team wild card spot. It's kind of like a battle royale. It's I think the Athletics, Mariners, Yankees, Bo Sox, and Toronto, and a lot of them are playing each other for the last few
Right.
games. So yeah, it's a little exciting, intense. A lot of people are wondering if there's going to be a five-way tie going into the wild card spot the last game. So it's a
Oh
possibility,
wow.
but doubt it.
Yeah, I do have a couple of baseball cards. I bought a Vladdy Topps Chrome PSA 10 and then a couple of Bichette Topps Chrome PSA 10s as well. And I sold the Vladdy early. I made a dollar or two, not very much, nothing cool.
Hmm.
But I held on to the Bichettes and now so I sort of made the wrong play, it seems. I haven't watched Vladdy's price, but from what I'm hearing, the market seems to be, sort of catching on to the Vladdy train a little bit.
Oh yeah, they're both of them are great players, so
Yeah.
there's no doubt. I mean, those two are the kind of the lifeblood of that team. So they're definitely a force to reckon with. But Vlad has had a outstanding season. Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of, I think I know the answer to this too, but I'm not going to assume. You know, do you consider yourself a collector, an investor, a flipper, some combination? I always think it's interesting to sort of ask people that where they stand. I don't, I just think it's interesting because you can sort of take away. There's, some people have a little bit of a negative vibe towards, the flippers. The collectors don't get too much shit, but the flippers can take it. But where do you consider yourself sort of in that in that little or somewhere in between?
Yeah, I think it's a spectrum, and a lot of people aren't going to land on either extreme for the most part. That's a rare case. So I'd probably put myself more at the collector side, and I tend to get attached to what I buy just because I buy it because I like it, and that's actually for the most case why I buy a lot of doubles and triples of some of these cards, which seems a little bit crazy, but I kind of have gut feelings on what's going on, and at that point, pretty much I tell myself if I enjoy this card and I don't want to let it go, and it goes up a lot, that's a dilemma for me. So so I try and buy two or three to make that issue a lot easier for myself. But I'll definitely sell stuff if I feel like it's reached a peak that I'm fine with, even if it's going to go up higher. Or if it's a card that I just there's cards that I'll buy just because I think they're going up, and it's not something that necessarily fits my collection too. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's a great strategy. Obviously, I guess the difference is when you're doing it with young guns, it's one thing. When you're doing it with cards that are, say PMGs, out of 100 or out of 10,
mhm.
depending on what you're doing, it obviously makes it a lot trickier with young guns. I sort of think the same way. I'll buy a bunch and I'll sell off some as it goes up, and then perhaps I hold on to a few for a little bit longer term. No
Mhm.
one I'm really thinking about doing that with now, but I think that makes a lot of sense. It's just interesting. So let me ask you this: where do you find? Because we'll get into some of your cards. Actually, maybe I'll ask this question and we'll take a look at a card. Where do you source your cards from?
Oh, big question because it's a lot of time. It seriously
Right.
is, and it's tough because I mean, at work I can't have my phone on me. It's got to be in a lockbox. So it's a little bit tough in that aspect, but it's a lot of time spent between Facebook, eBay, ComC. We're talking Instagram forums. I mean, I'm on Blowout. I'm on Hobby Insider. And it's just sometimes it's a lot of time. Sometimes it's luck of the draw. I mean,
Right.
I'll send out feelers on occasion, but I'll mainly just scroll through a lot of content just to see what's out there, and if possibly I might hit something that I'm looking for. So it's a long and grueling process, to put it that way.
Yeah, like I said, I follow you on Instagram. If you don't follow him on Instagram, check him out. You know, Penguins. I don't know if it's Penguins Pirates. I know it shows Penguins and Pirates, but you'll find them.
Yeah.
Just a really cool collection. I would have guessed you were a collector just from our conversations that we've had in the past too. I know you have attachment to a bunch of these cards and have stories with them and all that good thing and all those good things, and that's awesome. But why don't we take a look at a card?
Sure. Any preference, or should I just start with whatever I'm feeling?
No, whatever you're feeling, we'll go with that. I think I have an idea of what we got, so let's just take a look at a card. Maybe we can talk
All
about
right.
it.
So we'll go with the one set that I've really enjoyed collecting, and I've been working on for close to half a decade. And this is
Oh,
there we go. This is the 2016-17 Clear Showcase Pmg Set. And these are the pack pulled purples. I know a lot of people get confused with some of the purples. There's a purple set that's an employee exclusive that was not released in packs. The pack ones are a 2.5. So the McDavid's a
okay.
5. It's a 9. I actually got this off of eBay, off of a seller that I've bought a few cards off of. But this was maybe a purchase in 2018 or 2019. So it
So
was a while ago.
you're just bringing the heat right away. Just go get right to it, eh? Out of 5. So let's talk about that for a quick sec. So those ones, and that's the Connor's second year, correct?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. And so those ones, those purples are numbered to 5, and then they have the greens to 10. Is that correct?
Correct.
And
Yes.
they're numbered
And
separately, and then the reds are to 100, I believe.
so for 16-17, the Reds are 150,
Okay.
the Blues are 50, and then yes, 10 and 5.
Okay. And maybe talk a little bit about the year before. So I believe McDavid's rookie year, how the PMGs were numbered in that year as opposed to, and I'm not sure if you know or not, but if you know why they made that switch, I'd be curious to know.
So yeah, I could do a little lineage on the
Sure.
PMGs. So yeah, so like I said, the 16-17 is one of the years with purples, and the only other year with purples is 15-16 as well, and that's McDavid's rookie year. And so there's the purples to 5, greens to 10, blues to 50, and again reds to 150.
Okay.
And for that year specifically, they made PMGs rookies only. So there's only a checklist of 30 rookies. And then a couple of the other years have different kind of nuances. And 14-15 was done similar to the current release of Skybox Metal there. And it was numbered, all of them crash numbered to 100. And the first 10 in the print were green, 11
Right.
to 35 blue, so 25 of them. And then 36 to 100 red, so 65. And then the other years aren't like that. 13-14, you have 10 greens, 25 blues, 75 reds. And then your retro set in 12-13 was 10 green, 50 blue, and 100 red. So they tweak it a little bit every year, it seems. and this year is no difference with the metal standalone set. They've kind of gone back to like the original numbering with the greens and the red, and that's it. No blues. So
Yeah, a lot of people, were a bit confused by it and getting a green that's numbered, number 2 out of 100, and a little bit curious.
mhm.
I mean, it's almost good that we missed having this, because we've been trying to get together for a couple months, and we both have real life stuff going on. It's not just cards all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still cards a lot, but with the release of Metal Universe, people are really starting to look at precious metal gems. But I'll ask you, like, why do you think they're so important? And me, I only learned about them a couple months ago.
hmm
I knew what they were. I'd heard people talking about them, but I certainly wasn't looking to buy. And part of that was because I didn't have as much money back then. But talk about the importance of them from the 90s through to today with the new release.
So it's a mixture of nostalgia and scarcity and rarity, in my opinion, and that's what drew me to them. And I did a lot of research on the '90s basketball PMGs, especially with that the green Michael Jordan sale to Nat Turner, and it piqued my interest. Did a lot of research, and I was just looking at the trends of pricing on those and reading on blowouts. A lot of people's comments saying, "Oh, there were dealers back in the day when those released. They were $100 for 10 years, and then they slowly climbed until what's escalated uh, their pricing today." And I saw that, and I thought, wow, that's impressive. Not only are they a beautiful looking card, like aesthetically just beautiful, but they have rarity for crash serial numbering to 100 maximum, and then the greens to 10, which are extremely elusive, and then the scarcity aspect where basically there may be 100 or 90 reds and 10 greens, but you might only see one of the greens available once a year, maybe
Yeah.
not even that, or the reds only 2 are available throughout a year. So that's pretty much where it's at. And I mean, it's translated to hockey slowly, because I think a lot of people have kind of realized like young guns are great, and so are some of the lower end stuff. I like my artifacts, numbering, rookies, and all that. Um, but if you want something to hold on to, that's a unique piece, you're gonna have to look rare and scarce, and some of these unique things are where that kind of is. And I mean, they're inserts, but they're still rookie year for a lot of these guys. So that's kind of my outlook on it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't have it. I don't have it here. I have it somewhere in here, but I bought anyways, I came across a Miko Rantanen, a blue. There was a
hmm
purple that went a couple months ago, and I was just short. Like, I had money, but it would have spent a lot of my bankroll. I think it ended up going for about 800. Like, I thought a really reasonable price for a purple. I'm sure you know the one I'm talking about. I think it was a PSA 8.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't win that, did you?
No, yeah, I think I believe it was a PSA 9, and I was
Was it a
debating it
9? Okay.
because I have a purple, but I don't think it's going to grade that well. So I'm always looking for an upgrade. So.
Right. But anyways, I came across a blue for a Miko and an IPC Miko. So I was really happy because even the out of 50, like, you still don't see them that often. I've seen a couple, and it certainly wouldn't be my last chance, but I just wanted to put it in my back pocket and purchase it. So you're certainly right about if you're trying to find, say, a McKinnon green or something like that, a rookie, you're not going to find them too often. I mean, the people who are buying those, each time you see it, it's a lot more likely that it's going into someone's hands where it's just not going to move again. I bought the totally certified Nathan McKinnon because it was my favorite set of cards, and I bought the totally certified 1/1 Nathan McKinnon, and it's sort of the same thing. Like, either you buy it now or who knows,
It may
right?
never
Like,
pop up, yeah.
I might be 70. You might be waiting 30 years for someone who, really wants that card for some sort of maybe set whatever type of thing. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right with all that. All right. I think you have one more PMG there, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Well, I
I
know you
actually
have
have
many
a
PMGs.
couple. Oh yeah. So I could show two here at the same time, so maybe people get an idea what the rookie one looks like as well.
Yeah, sure.
So we also have the green from that set with
Yeah.
the purple. It's
Yeah,
also a PSA 9.
just beautiful.
So, and yeah, 6 of 10 there, I believe.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
one of those, and this is my red PSA 10. And actually, there was a sale on Prob scene that just happened. That kind of made my jaw drop because I had two of these and I sold one,
Yeah.
not willingly, to fund some other stuff. So this is his rookie year, and the reds are to 150 there.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
it's a pop 7 in PSA 10 right now, I
And
believe.
what was that sale on Probstein, if you don't mind me asking?
15,000 US. So I
Yeah.
was I was a little bit shocked. I thought it was going to go for a little bit lower than that, maybe 10 to 12. But yeah, it's. I mean, I don't mind, although I don't really want to let go of mine, so I won't
Yeah.
find it again.
No, absolutely. So, other than PMGs, what sort of stuff are you collecting? What's your let me ask you this way: what's your favorite set to collect right now that's not, say, a PMG or hunting PMGs?
Ooh, as far as hockey goes,
Sure.
I'd probably say right now is actually Synergy, and
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the first 2 years of the release, and I actually chase the base set because that's the actual chase in those sets. A lot of people are confused with all the parallels, thinking one of them might be the base card, but the base is. I mean, you can only have, I believe, 7 complete base sets the first year and 8 complete base sets ever for the second year. So.
Can you explain? I learned this from listening to your Instagram live, actually, so I understand how it works. But can you explain why it can only be 7?
So they have different tiers. I'll kind of explain for the 17-18, the first inaugural sets.
Sure.
And basically, what happens is they have the veterans, and it's a small checklist of veterans. I believe it's 30 cards to 35, and they are numbered to 17 for the base cards themselves. And then they have a legends checklist, a part of it, and there's 10 of them, and they are numbered to 7. And then your rookies are numbered one higher in those orders. So the okay kind of like nobody rookies will be numbered to 18, so one higher than your vets. And then
Right.
the 10 best rookies that they've deemed in that class, such as like Heischer, Keller, Besser, they'll all be numbered to 8. So
Right. Yeah, that's really neat. Again, that's why I wanted to get you on. There's just these cool things that I always learn from listening to your lives. You're so knowledgeable about the sets and that. So that's awesome. Do you have a Synergy there by chance? I know we didn't talk about one, but do you have something Synergy there? Maybe one you like?
yes, so there's two here.
Okay.
I'll show the first year. So
Sure.
David here, and the base have kind of like this silver clear hollow foil,
Right.
and the side acetate, which is usually colored on the parallels, is just clear. So nothing, just completely see through it. And this is to 17, the McDavid.
Right.
And then I have the 18-19, which is the second year that I collect and the only other year. And this is a Gretzky to 8. So the 18-19s, they up the print run by 1. So vets, instead of being 7 or 8, or sorry, legends are 8 instead of 7. So this is the 8. And then like vets are 18 instead of 17, etc. So
Right.
it two different designs. I like them both. They kind of remind me of basketball essential credentials, so
Right.
they're neat cards.
Yeah, just like yeah, beautiful cards. Again, I said at the start, you know, I wanted to have you on because you collect a lot of the stuff that I like to collect. Like we have sort of a similar taste, and all the cards you post, I just really love, and that's really interesting because I think when people think of synergy, I don't think it's, you know, it might. There may be some thoughts that people have that typically aren't positive about the set, but I think like in terms of the way that the numbering works and the scarcity and rarity and all the things, you know, that the PMGs have, it also has a degree of that, and, you know, makes it really interesting with those base sets being, you know, the chase is really
See,
interesting.
I don't blame a lot of people. I personally don't like a lot of the synergy cards, minus the base sets and some of the case hit inserts. Just because there's some unique ones there. For example, there's this color shift, and if you bring it into the sunlight, it changes color, the white background. That's a case hit. They made some really
Wow.
kind of pushing the boundaries inserts in there that I think a lot of people look over, but
Did
a lot of the parallels are like, eh. So
did Synergy also do the glow cards? There were some
uh,
recent cards that were an insert that glow in the dark, and they sort of
yes, that is
that is
correct. Yeah.
Synergy? Okay.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
That's really, I mean, that's pushing it for me. I don't even remember. I can't picture the cards. I can't picture the cards in my head, but that's yeah, I don't know. To each their own. Like someone's
Yeah.
gonna like them, right?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I'd rather them try and innovate like that, right? Instead of doing the old same thing. And you never know. Someday in the future, those things might be big because somebody's left it out in the sunlight and it just gets beat up, right, by UV rays, and just because I
Right.
want to see the color change or whatever happens, right? It it's kind of like the new frontier, in my opinion, with some of those. So it's I have the occasional one. I'm not really there to pick them up. I try and stick to my own lane, but I do like them a lot. So
Sure. Well, I got another question here, but let's take a look at one more card. We'll keep moving through the cards
mhm.
because you got such good stuff there. I don't want people staring at me talking when we could see your cards and you can tell us about them. So why
Okay.
don't you pick what something you want to show?
So, so we'll go with shiny. I'm
Sure.
a big fan of the Prism, the two Prism sets. So, to give people a little bit of information on that 12-13 Prism set, it's actually a box topper pack in Rookie Anthology,
Right.
hobby boxes, and there's only 3 cards in the pack. And to give you an idea, Blowouts did a whole print run investigation for the silvers for basketball, which has hobby and retail, and I think there was an estimated print run of 150. So my guess is some of those silvers are actually pretty rare for hockey if you're doing box toppers with only 3 cards. But
Right.
got a little we got a little gold. It's hard to get the shine.
But
A
you got the gold.
little bit
Oh
there.
yeah. No, that looks,
So
you can see it. That's amazing.
a
And that's
little
out at 10.
Backstrom and they're 10. Yep.
Yeah.
So they've just been blowing up in all the sports. But I saw what was happening in basketball, and I figured start picking them up before they blew up. So kind of just Flurry and Datsuk. I have a couple there on me, and then I have the OV on me from 13-14 currently,
Yeah, beautiful. I have a
and
bunch of
that's
those
another.
base cards. That's beautiful in the gold though.
Yeah.
So I
So
mean
a very
that
nice
leads
card.
me to the obvious next question, because when I first started collecting, which I'm just over a year now, like back into it, I really like the Prism cards, so I went straight to them, and I went, you know, they're really inexpensive. You know, when you're looking at base
Mhm.
stuff, I paid a little bit for a McKinnon, but still pretty reasonable. Like why do you think the Prism hasn't caught on with hockey the way that it has with, you know, football and basketball?
I'm actually curious about that too because I find the Panini products, at least some of the later stuff, because they're trying to push out the best products they could before their license expired there. I find them really, really good. I love the National Treasures from 1314. And I love the Prism product and the Select from 1314 as well. I think they're all really well made and are really intriguing. But a lot of hockey collectors, I mean, a lot of them weren't really dabbling into other sports, so it was mainly just products that they kind of knew, and Panini wasn't in hockey cards for that long, right? So it wasn't memorable for a lot of people in hockey, and I think until there's a lot of crossover between some of these other sports like basketball and football, with hockey collectors, that's maybe when you'll see more of a peak in interest on the shiny stuff there.
Do you think that basketball and football are going to come over for average stuff? Like I could see high end investors and high end guys coming over for some of the big PMGs, your Sids, your Ovies, your
Hmm.
McDs, like all those monsters. That would sort of make sense to me from like a portfolio diversification standpoint. But do you think in general many basketball or football, collectors are going to move to hockey? And I know that sounds a
Hmm.
little bit leading, but I don't mean for it to be.
I don't think in droves, no. There's no
Yeah.
way. And maybe you will get the occasional person, a small percentage. I'll come over, they'll get interested in the cards, and then they'll be like, "Well, why not try prospecting?" They'll start watching the sport, and they'll really enjoy it, and then they'll truly kind of be immersed in it. That'll happen. I think for the large majority, though, what you're going to see is they're going to come over, try and diversify. They're going to pick up the big names, the big Hall of Fame names, and they will try. They'll stick to what they know, I think, or at least what they know in the hockey sector is big as well. I think it's
Right.
more if you want to see diversification as far as what people are interested in is hockey collectors reaching out to other sports, right? And then
Right.
they find something they like in another sport, Prism or whatever, Dominion or something, and then they go back into hockey and find out there's some hockey cards for that product. So
Right. National Treasures, one of
mhm,
my
exactly.
favorites too. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I know you got more cards there, so let's show them some.
Okay. Um, we'll go with the essential credentials here. This is
Perfect.
my favorites year of them. So we got 16, 17, and it's modeled after Kobe's rookie year. They're in the 90s, and the base one's the green. This is I believe this is the futures. Yes, it is. So
So
the red.
these cards are really hard to find. I was having a look for
Mhm.
some of them after watching a video of yours, but yeah, so can you just go over the future and now and how these things work a little bit?
So the red is the future, and basically, as you can see, I'll try and tilt it
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
It's to 13,
yeah.
which is also his jersey number. I found a lot of the cards, if they could, Upper Deck, they'd match up the jersey number with the numbering in one of the sets. But that's just a little interesting tidbit. But and the blue is the now, and this is the 40. And basically, what they did is they had a set of 42. And for the two parallels, the now basically emphasizes the current stars and veterans. And the numbering is card number one, which would be their best vet, which was McDavid in the set, is going to be a one of one. And then number two, which would be Crosby, would be a two, numbered
Oh
to
boy.
two, and so on and so forth until you hit the rookie class, and then the best rookie at the bottom is Matthews, which would be to 42. And then the same way as the futures, right, is the opposite order because you're going from the rookies up. So card number 42 will be a one of one, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, so where are those sitting or those Sid and McDavid's? Are those can we find
Yeah.
pictures of those? If there's
The
one,
McDavid one of
David.
one I've never seen.
Okay.
It would be the blue one. I would, if anybody knows where it is, please. As far as the future ones, the red ones, I have quite a few copies, and they're all at PSA right now. So we'll see
Okay.
what happens there. Yeah, but they're beautiful cards, and I showed the Barzell there and the Nylander. They're both pop ones. They're impossible to grade. If you've ever seen some of these, they're usually horribly off center. The foil, because it's like a thick sandwich board of acetate in the middle with the foil and the cardboard on either side.
Yeah.
So that will get chipped up quite a lot, and the edges and pack get worn down because they're thick cards. So you'll see rounded white corners, chipping on the edges, and completely off centered, wildly off centered on a lot of them. So I thought I had to pick them up when I got the opportunity on the PSA 10s.
Yeah. So you'll have a lot of people, I guess, from the set registry chasing you down for those cards, I would assume.
We'll see. I don't know. Hockey is very low key on the set registry, but I enjoy it personally. I don't
Yeah.
know if there's a lot of hockey collectors out there for the modern stuff, but hey, if you enjoy collecting, I suggest it. In my personal opinion, it's enjoyable.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. What else? What else you got? I know we got a few more, right? I got
Oh yeah. We there's three others for sure, and then if you wanted to see anything else, I do have some other stuff close by that's pretty neat.
sure. Do you have
So
what? Okay. No, just go
yeah,
ahead. We'll let you go with it. That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that
So
perfect.
we got the Jambalaya Crosby from the Clear Retro Set, 2012, 2013, and
Yeah.
there's an estimated print run of 59 to 66. I believe it's 66, and these are a very tough grade. So this is an 8. And as you can see, the black on the back gets chipped quite a bit. So
Yeah.
I was glad with the 8 personally. So
Yeah, I've been looking. I actually just bought my first one and I should have that right here. So I bought a new one, but
okay,
a
yep.
Huberto
Hmm. I've
jambalaya.
been meaning to pick up one.
So that's my first one. IPC Huberto, Barkov, Kucherov, McKinnon, Rantanen. So I grabbed that one. I thought it was really underpriced, to be honest. I have actually a bigger one. Maybe I won't tell which one because I sort of teased it on my Instagram. But anyways, I've been looking at a lot of them and I see the exact same thing. That back black edge is where, the fronts look okay, but that back
Hmm.
black really seems to be prone to a lot of chipping and a lot of stuff going on the edges there for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're a thicker card, right? And the front is an interesting texture. So with the lenticular design going on, they have an interesting kind of texture on the front and the way it looks. So yeah, the back is very susceptible with the black and the kind of easily chipping card stock there. So
Yeah, and this is another one of those cards that people like me a few months
mhm.
ago would have known very little about. Again, coming from that metal universe, coming from that 90s, just the PMG type metal universe. Anyways, now with metal universe out, people are starting to get an idea of these cards. But I actually just saw a post on Facebook just a few hours ago. After work, I was just browsing one of the card things, and a guy had pulled. Who was it? I think it was a Marner, a new Marner PMG, and he was asking. I think he was asking 2,500 Canadian for that. But there were some comments where, why are these cards so expensive? And
Mhm.
I don't understand it. And I sort of felt the same way, even going back 3-4 months. And now I can sort of appreciate them. But why don't you speak? I know they're along the PMG lines, but why don't you speak to sort of what, again, the jambalaya history, and you talked about how scarce they are, but I'll let you sort of
Yeah.
go.
There's definitely history there again with basketball in the 90s. one of these 90s inserts that's just super highly sought after, very kind of revolutionary for its time, right? It's very unique. As in a card, it's die cuts. It has this lenticular design. The finish is interesting on the front with the texture,
Yeah.
and just the overall kind of like symmetry, photograph with the background. It all ties into just a fantastic card. And when you have a couple years of that in basketball, and then a rabid following after that, and then you have the very scarce print runs of the jambalayas. I mean, we're talking like not just a case hit, you're talking like cases to hit one, and then you're talking about a checklist maybe 20 or 30 big. So
Right.
extremely hard to hit that one player, and that's going to cause the price to be a little bit more expensive than your typical short print card, right? So
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, they look at inserts and they say, well, it's not a true rookie. Why would I pay that much? But I mean, it's more for the rarity, the uniqueness of the card, and just I mean, I don't have that preconceived notion that a rookie necessarily has to be the most valuable. Is it most desirable for most collectors? Yes. Does it have to be the most valuable? Unless it's top tier, not in my opinion. So
Yeah, I don't think you're alone in that. Here, we got a question here. And by the way, guys, if you want to ask any questions, feel free to hop in here. I just briefed over
mhm.
this, so I didn't read it really well. Can you
Yeah.
guys catch us up on the history of licensed hockey? I've only known about Upper Deck Young Gun cards from the last couple of years. So maybe, oh, I didn't even know I could do that. Sorry.
Don't worry.
um yeah, maybe you can certainly maybe give like a brief history. Obviously, going back to OPG
Hmm.
tops in the 80s into the 90s when things really got, probably a lot more wild, where you had a
Hmm.
lot more sets, but maybe I'll let you handle that one if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak on it a little bit. I have some knowledge on it. I know, for example, Panini, I don't know if they started in 09, 10 or 10, 11. They held the license from one of those 2 years until 13, 14. And at that time, they were kind of booted out of the hockey markets. And then before that, we're talking about Tops and some other companies. So Tops was making some interesting cards, kind of like their baseball stuff, back until 2004. And then at that point, they also lost the license. And they owned Opeachy at that time, and then I believe it was bought by Upper Deck at some point in time between when they lost the license and now, and well, a few years later, because Opeachy, uh, God, I can't remember when they came back into Upper Deck's kind of rotation, but yeah, just some interesting things, right? Like Tops was for baseball, but they had some hockey cards early 2000s and the 90s. There was some other sets like Elite Leaf, like you name it. Back in the 90s, those companies were in hockey, and then Tops extended their stay into kind of like mid 2000s there, and then Panini had their little stints, and since then it's just been Upper Deck. So
And
which
how do you
I have no issues.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Because you usually have two sides to that. Some people want the competition and they want more brands to sort of, push innovation, push design, all these sorts of things. And I can certainly understand that. But
Mhm.
where would you stand on Upper Deck, or do you want somebody like pushing them?
I generally think that they do a decent job. I'm not going to praise them or belittle them. I mean, there's product that becomes stale, that they continue, but there's also innovations that they make, like Ingrained and Synergy, and there's going to be a lot of people who don't like that stuff. Got a low battery there. A lot of people who don't like that stuff and don't like a lot of change. but there's going to be people who do like it, and there's going to be people who come back and think, oh man, like I like collecting this era, and they go back to some of these sets that they didn't like, and they gain a newfound appreciation. So there's some innovation on Upper Deck side. Is there enough for the haters? No. Um, it and even if they do innovation, people aren't gonna like it. I mean, it's just it's always a lose-lose. I personally don't want to see an overrun and oversaturation of cards. So the single license, as much as I'd love to have Panini or Topps cards, I still think it's a good idea at the moment.
So let me ask you this: what's your least favorite sort of modern type of set, or the one that you think just maybe bugs you, or maybe none of them bug you, but do you have a least favorite?
Uh, I I don't necessarily have a least favorite. I just don't like when things are redundant.
Okay.
So if you're gonna make a product, don't make it 90% overlap with another one. So I forget what it was, but it's not chronologies. It's not ingrained. But there's been some higher end releases like Clear Cut. You're taking every single design that's been made, and then you're just making it into acetate
Right.
and slapping on autos. And for acetate cards, like if you enjoy that, that's great, but it's niche, and you can include those into other sets.
Right.
And I don't necessarily like the whole have a Sidney Crosby Future Watch auto acetate, and it's a rookie in
Yeah.
2018-19. It's a little absurd. It's kind of like the whole Jack Eichel debate when they had the no auto rookies, and then they have the rookies with autoed, but they were made and printed in like 2016, 2017.
Right.
Are they really rookies? My opinion, no. They weren't released in the product. They're not. So at the time.
Yeah. Here's a question for you from Chris. Uh,
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Chris is a buddy of mine. Panini
okay.
hockey cards again? Nah.
Is he trying to set
Honestly,
you off? Is this an inside question?
no, no, no. But no, I don't want them to make cards in hockey. Honestly, it's they had the run, and I like it. It's limited to a certain amount of years, and really there's only one good rookie class available for Panini, and that's 13-14, and it makes it very unique. I mean, the Panini cards are scarce for hockey, just from that aspect alone. They may have printed a lot, but there's not. That's it. Like there's not many years of Panini, and they gave it their best shot on their last year, which I appreciate too. So.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, let's take a look at another card. I know you got. How about the one of my favorite cards? We talked about it before the show. Is the Sparkling Diamonds. I think that one's
Mhm.
amazing. It's got a cool story. So I'll just let you go with that.
Yeah, so I'll show it off and I'll talk about it. So it's hard to really capture how nice the sparkle is,
Yeah,
uh,
that's
but
unbelievable.
yeah. So that's the McDavid, and that's his rookie year, 15-16, and you can see the back that's susceptible to a lot of chipping with the black. Um, but basically, another insert set out of Fleer, and it's the Skybox Premium. And the base ones are numbered to 499. You got the rubies, like in basketball, to 50. But what's unique to hockey is they made a sparkling diamonds, which was never a basketball, and is to 5. And when I saw it, first saw it on eBay, I kind of fell in love at first sight, and it was definitely one of my favorite sets. But they're just so scarce. They're difficult to find, and also this was I purchased this one here way back, and I actually owned 3 out of the 5 at one point in
Yeah,
time,
I was gonna say. So
and
they're not that hard to find because you had 3 of them, 3 of the 5.
it was a year-long search. Yeah, it was a year-long search, and I managed to get 3 of them. And I actually now know where one of the other 2 were. Buddy on Instagram has one of them. I didn't know, But yeah, I stupidly sold them. I probably shouldn't have. And after hearing some of the offers my buddy has on his, yeah, I was a little bit heartbroken, a little bit of a regret. But you win some, you lose some, right? So
You got the card. I think it would be, put it this way, it would be in my top probably 2 McDavid cards, rookie cards that I would want to own. Maybe the Cup, the Cup True Rookie sort of, BGS 9.5 or whatever. But I mean that one for a non-patch, for a non-auto, there is no doubt that is a card that I would love to own. And grade doesn't even matter to me, when it's out of 5 like that, that's irrelevant. But I mean, I love those things. I got a Jonathan Taves, just, he's a Winnipeg boy, and they're truly amazing cards. And that year that you have of the McDavid, it looks even, the way that the blue looks even nicer than the year that I have of the Taves. Just an amazing, amazing card. And you still have one of them.
yeah,
So you're down 2, but you're
yeah.
far from out of the game.
Yeah, I really enjoy them. I mean, and it's so unique how they did them every year, right? They had completely different designs every year. So that just so unique, such a cool card, and it's definitely I don't it's either one or two for me as far as non-auto, non-patch. And I'm kind of on the boat with you. If I was to put number one, I wouldn't have the Cup rookie personally. I really enjoy the exquisite true rookie to his jersey number. That's just
Okay.
a ode to kind of like the LeBron exquisite whole phenomenon. I'd really love to own that one. So
Yeah, I don't blame you, but yeah, that's an amazing card. The fact that you had 3, it's certainly not yeah, we don't mean we don't
yeah.
mean to bring you down, but I think it's amazing. You still got one. It's still 20% of the population, and yeah, just absolutely amazing card. But yeah, McDavid, let's take a look at something else. I'm sweating a bit after seeing that card.
Yeah. I do have a Crosby here left. It's a rookie,
Sure.
and I'm a big fan when it comes to rookies to kind of cheaper sets. To be honest, are more condition sensitive and numbered, and I do enjoy my parallels. So when I was looking for a Crosby rookie, I didn't want to go too expensive. I wanted it to be unique, so I went with this, which is pop 1 or 2 in its grade, and it's a victory. But this
Yeah.
is the gold parallel, and the border is gold, and it's number to 100. And these are generally off-centered, and as well with the golds, there's usually a lot of issues with the corners, a lot of white on the corners. They're just old. A lot of people didn't bother slabbing them because they were cheap cards at the time, and and also the edges as well get beat up. But there's another parallel that I would love to have, but I have a feeling I'll never find, and that's the black for the victory there, and that's number
Right.
to 5. But the possibility of even finding it, let alone having the cash to pony up for that, I'm assuming is out of my league. So
Yeah, I have a couple of those OV and the Sid, just the silver, which I guess is the base, and yeah,
mhm.
they're lower end. So I mean, not everyone can afford the PMG green or the purple. So speak a little bit maybe to how important those lower end cards are to just maybe like the hobby and to for point of entry and what have you.
Yeah, I mean, there's something for everybody. That's what's so great about this, right? Is you don't necessarily have to um, kind of go along with anybody else. I mean, sure, you can collect the young guns, and I enjoy the cards themselves. Same with like artifacts and all that. I mean, and your future watches. They're like future watch, young gun, the cup, right? Those are the big three in hockey, and I mean, I have no issue with collecting those or anything, but they're kind of at the bottom of my list. They don't kind of strike any chord with me. I don't enjoy them over other cheaper cards. And depending on your budget, right? You like patches and autos, the cup might be your go-to. Or future watches, you only like autos.
Yeah.
Or if you wanted a cheaper option for autographs, maybe look at Ultimate. Ultimate has some great designs. They're numbered lower. They're still true rookies. I mean, stuff like that. You can go down to Artifacts, which I personally like for 05, 06 because it's very tough to grade, and I like the shield design in the background. And they're numbered to 770 or 750. Way more scarce than some of these other, like the young guns and the future watches, right?
Right.
And you're paying a fraction of the price. So it depends on how much you have to spend and what you're looking for. Do you want something unique? You want just a true rookie? Maybe you go with Artifacts. It's numbered, it's rare. It might not be the first thing to appreciate, but if you have the right name, it will. And you could also look for parallels in unique sets or maybe inserts. You just have to do a little bit of sleuthing. Kind of, I use Cardboard Connection to do a lot of research on sets and what's at speed and insert hit rates, and you can find some unique stuff. So there's no end to the rabbit hole, in my opinion. So whatever your budget is.
I've just actually gotten into that, at taking a better look at Cardboard Connection. I would browse through it, not really be too focused, but now I'm really starting to look at the inserts within sets and look at the rarity and look at those things and try and find some cards that maybe, I like, and they're typically going to be for the PC, but at the same time, I'd like something that's sort of a little bit more rare. I think I've sort of underutilized Cardboard Connection until recently, but certainly an amazing resource to get a lot of information on sets and odds and pack odds, all those sorts of things. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So just research and again, just maybe, if somebody's looking to specifically flip, you want to look at maybe what moves volume wise and what moves in price and volume, and buy that. But if you want something to enjoy for yourself, that not necessarily has to be an investment piece, but if you want it to be too as well, you might want to look. Like, you can find some cheap stuff that's really nice, that has good possibility. I mean, there's lots out there. I personally like OPG Platinum parallels. They're I mean, I don't stretch myself that far. I have a few, but I really like them, and I think their potential is up there, and they're cheap. So it's what you want to look at.
Yeah, and if you're looking for low price platinum parallels, I got a pile of them on eBay. Not all rookies, just stuff. But anyways, Kyle, thanks for coming. But here, let's do this before you go. I did it with my last interview, so I got a quick thing. I don't have music. Last time I knew it'd be better with music, but let's play a quick speed round. I know your game. You're down for a good time. So let's do a quick speed round here, okay? Not overly fast, but jambalaya or PMG?
PMG.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Oh, chocolate.
Starbucks or Tim's?
Starbucks.
Oh, you're a Navy guy and you're picking Starbucks over Tim's?
Because the old Tim Hortons recipes at McDonald's, if you put that, I would have said McDonald's.
Okay, fair enough. Sid or Ovi?
Sid.
McKinnon or Matthews?
McKinnon. Like his speed.
There you go. Coffee Crisp or O. Henry?
Coffee Crisp.
Clear Showcase or Metal Universe?
Clear Showcase, just because that's what I started with.
All right. Prism Gold or Sparkling Diamonds?
Oh, Sparkling Diamonds.
And Penguins or Pirates?
Penguins. Come on. It's all
there
hockey
you go.
here. Yeah.
That was the right answer. That was the one I had circled. Okay, Kyle, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I hope everyone watching learned a lot. But before we go, certainly let people know, where they can find you. Your Instagram feed, like I said, is amazing. You do some live stuff on Instagram. It's really good, not just for checking out really cool cards, but again, for getting a lot of the information. And that's what I appreciated seeing when I watched your Instagram. So why don't you tell people where to find you?
Sure. As depicted here, it's Penguins Pirates. And you just go to Instagram. I'm on there. I'm sporadically active as far as posting. I try and update my story though when I get stuff in, and I generally will have descriptions with with the actual products and like the full description of what the card is in my photos, and I might try and write a little blurb on what it is and how I got it. So
Yeah. Really awesome, great source of information and fun, and a guy who loves to collect. And I appreciate that. That's awesome. But again, Kyle, if you don't have any final words.
I just want to say thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully you find some more stuff that you like as far as the sparkling diamonds. I know they're very tough to acquire and find right now. So
Yeah, I'll find some. I'll find something. But I appreciate that. Thanks for coming on. Maybe after you get all those, all the PSA subs that you got there back, maybe we'll have to have you on and go through and check out some of those grades. I know you do it on your Instagram, and it's awesome to watch. So, anyways, Cal, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember, we got the draw tomorrow for the prospects package. That's going to be at 9 Central. It's going to be quicker than this, but make sure you check that out. You just got to subscribe. So hit the like button there, hit the subscribe button. Helps me out a lot. Appreciate it, guys. And we'll check you.